All right, good morning, traders. Today is August 3rd, 2023. My name is John Carrigan. I moderate the BYOB trading room. These are our 5 bulls and 5 bears. There's more than 5 on each side, but these are the stocks that I find bullish. These are the stocks that I find to be bearish. Let's go take a look at the market today. So here we are with the SPY. And we're just check it out on the daily time frame. As you can see, we still are above the 34 EMA. All right, so we had a sharp sell-off yesterday due to a Fitch credit rating downgraded the U.S. credit from AAA down to AA plus. So we took a bump, and the market had a sell-off. My morning SPY pivot. It's 451.50. Above 451.50, I'm going to be a bull. Below, I'm going to be a bear. So as you can see, the 3 has now crossed underneath the 8, the T line. And price is below. And we happen to spike the 21 period moving average and spike the 17 EMA trend indicator. So now we're trading. This is today's activity. Yes, and we are below the trend indicator at this time. So I'm looking for, now I don't know if it's going to happen, I'm looking for them to create the neckline over the next 12 days, maybe even sooner, for a possible head and shoulders neck pattern. So we'll see what happens here, and that would require us to probably come down to an area right about, here would be the left side of the neck, somewhere around in here, about 437 or so. So we'll see what happens. Now, I don't expect us to move into a straight line down there. We might not. I don't expect that. I expect a lot of waffling around all the way back to here. Now, should we get a bounce on daily minor support? Yes. So we have daily minor support right across these candles here and this candle here. So right about 444.50 or so, I would expect minor support to hold us in the daily time frame. Probably create another bounce up a little bit, and then probably eventually meander its way down to this 437 area. We'll see what happens. Now, we could just bounce off of this minor support and rock it up and make it continue and make a new high. That's a good possibility. We do have good earnings. I've seen them send it both ways on earnings. I've seen them send it higher with good earnings, or I've seen them after multiple weeks of uptrending just give us a correction. So we'll see what happens. So here's the SPY on the daily time frame, having a pullback here. We're underneath the T line. We're underneath the 3, and we are now underneath the 17 and the 21-day exponential moving average. Let's look at it on the hourly chart. Here's a little pre-market activity, still underneath the T line and underneath the 3 EMA at this time. So we're underneath the 50 period. We're underneath the 21. We're underneath the 34. We're underneath the 17. We're underneath the 8, and we're underneath the 3 at this time. Again, my pivot's 451.50, which puts us right about up there. So let's go take a look at the Qs. Here's the Qs. Qs on a daily time frame. As you can see, we closed below the 21, closed below the trend indicator, and we closed below the T line. So price has been coming down. Price is having a correction here on the Qs. Minor support for the Qs should be right about through there. See the tops of these two candles these two humps right there. So minor support. So price is currently right on minor support. Now we'll see if minor support's going to hold and give us a little bounce for the Qs, or if they're going to let it pass through and actually check major support down here. So we'll see what happens with the Qs. Qs on the hourly time frame. You can see we're well below the 21. We're well below the 17. We're well below the 8. And we're well below the 3 at this time in the QQQ. So both hourly and daily are below those exponential moving averages. That doesn't make us bearish at this time. It just makes us bearish on those time frames. Now let's go take a look at FNGU. Here's the FNGU on the daily time frame. And you can see FNGU, and this is yesterday's price action right there. So FNGU is below the 17, below the 21, below the 8, below the 3. So now where is the minor support for FNGU? Well, you can see these two humps here. They're well underneath it. They're now checking the major support right here on the FNGU. So major support is going to be right about at the bottom of that, right in through there. And we'll see how well that holds up there against the major support. Now let's look at it on the hourly time frame. And you can see on the hourly time frame we're below the 21, we're below the 17, below the 8, and we're below the 3 at this time. There we go. So we're below the 3 at this time. So we'll see what happens with FNGU as well. Now let's take a look at IWM. Now IWM and the diamonds fared much better than the FNGU, the SPY, and the QQQ. You can see on the diamonds or on the IWM, we closed underneath the T line but above the trend indicator and above the 21. So still daily uptrend here in the IWM, still looking good. Now, not to say that the QQQ and the SPY and the FNGU are in downtrends. They're just in hourly downtrends at this time. Okay, now the IWM is still in its daily uptrend above the 21-day SMA. That'd be simple moving average right there. So now let's take a look at it on the hourly time frame. And on the hourly, you can see we got a lower high and we produced a lower low. So hourly, we're in an hourly downtrend here on the IWM as well. And we'll head back to the daily. And you can see we're still maintaining our trend line here. And we could pull back, we could even pull back all the way to trend back through here. So we still got a whole lot of room to move and still stay in this trend. So there's IWM. Now let's take a peek at the diamonds. And here's the diamonds. Here's the daily chart for the diamonds. Okay, we had that sharp pullback. Notice we're still above trend indicator. We're still above the 21-day SMA. We just happen to have closed below the T line. It's been a long time since we've closed below the T line. It wasn't until probably back on July 10th. So over 25 days ago is the last time we closed below the T line. So we're testing the T line again. Probably going to test the trend indicator again. But we're still in an uptrend here on the diamonds. And to stay in that uptrend, we simply pass this line through there. Still looking good. So we could actually pull back well below the 21-day SMA, even probably come down here and test minor support right there and still remain in this uptrend because the 50-day moving average is right here. So let's look at it on the hourly time frame. Hourly time frame, we are making lower lows and still no lower high yet. So diamonds still aren't even in an hourly downtrend at this time. Now I think that, what did I look at? The IWM. The IWM on the hourly time frame did happen to make a lower high here and made a lower low here. So IWM in an hourly downtrend. Diamonds are not. And FNGU making the lower high and the lower low. That's more like an equal low. But I think they'll have a lower low by the end of the week here. We'll see what happens. So we got the lower high on FNGU. QQQ. All right, we've got kind of a lower high and just inking out barely a lower low there on the QQQ. And the SPY making lower low and lower high and lower low on the hourly time frame. All right, so now let's go look at the US dollar. So here's the US dollar. Here's the sell-off we had at the beginning of July, created a nice rally for us. Now you can see the US dollar has ratcheted up and ratcheted up and ratcheted up. And now the 3 has come up above the T line here. And we are moving up towards this downtrend line right there. So we'll see how we fare over the next week with this trend line to see if they're going to respect it or if they're going to disrespect it and move up higher. Now, I would think with a Fitch credit rating, it would devalue the dollar. That's what I would think would happen. But yesterday, the dollar continued to ratchet higher. Maybe I'm not thinking right. I don't know. We'll see. But the dollar continues to ratchet up higher against the other currencies. So there's UUP. Now let's take a look at the VIX. So here's the VIX spiking up yesterday. You can see this wedge pattern kind of building there as if somebody knew something but didn't say something right there. You ever get that look in the chart where somebody knew something but didn't say something? Isn't it amazing how it did just that and then it pops up higher like that? Yeah. Somebody knew something and didn't say something. CJ says this is seasonality for VIX. It probably is. It's a back-to-school month. Things kind of get tighter in those back-to-school months. Yep. Summer vacation's over. So now let's go look at T2122. So here we are, T2122 on the 15-minute. We're down here in the chop zone right now, all right? And we need to find our way, and we made a lower high right here. And we're on our way to try to make lower lows. We'll see what happens today. T2123 was actually green yesterday on the T2123 at some point in time. And we started out green, as even though the markets gapped lower, we actually started out green, traded red for a while, then went back to green over the lunchtime when the European session closed down, and then we finished out the day kind of selling off here on the T2123. Now we look at it on the 3-bar chart. Now you can see the trend indicators closing in on the price action. But notice the trend indicators catching up, but the price action really isn't falling. You see what I'm saying? It's moving up, but it's not falling. It's just not accelerating as fast as it was. So the trend indicator is now, like the turtle is catching up to the hare right here. Yeah, kind of flattening out. Very good. That's a good word, CJ. Kind of flattening out. So now let's go take a look at XLF. Now let's look at it on the daily chart. Notice XLF underneath the T line here. Stayed above the trend indicator, still bullish. XLF still bullish. We're underneath the T line, not good. I'm sure the 3 is underneath it as well. I need to add that in there. And but we're above the trend indicator and the 21. We managed to stay above. Now look, we did spike it kind of hard. But the good news is bulls came in and said, "No, it's not happening today. Maybe tomorrow, but not today." And they bought it right back up. So XLF, still looking relatively strong, could make another higher high. So we may have another higher high soon to come. Don't know if it's going to be in August, but we may have another higher high in our future. Let's take a look at SMH. Okay, here's SMH. Now, they didn't say the same story here. So SMH sells off underneath the T line, underneath the trend indicator, and closed underneath the 21 period moving average. So SMH looks like it has a date with this 50. Don't know when it's going to get there, but it looks like it has. It looks like it wants to connect with the 50, and hopefully we get a nice bounce off the 50 up to make another higher high. So SMH still bullish, still well above the bullish trend, still looking good. SMH. Now let's take a look at transports. And let me make sure I got the right day. Okay, this is yesterday's candle. It is green. Amazing. Okay, so yesterday's candle, this is the transports. We closed underneath the T line, but we gapped down and were bought up here over the 21, over the 17 and the 21. Transports still looking strong. I really wish they'd bull flag at this point in time, but we'll see what happens. I'd like to see them bull flag for a month or two, and then we could actually get some of these moving averages to kind of catch up to the price action and kick it from behind, make another new high. So I would like to see a bull flag and not a pullback here in the IYT. And I think we're kind of set up for it. You notice we got a lot of up moves and then backfilling. Up move, little backfilling. Up, backfilling. This is like a perfect string of stairs right there. You go up, do a little backfill. Go up, do a little backfill. Going up, and then backfill. I like this movement right here. I wish they'd stretch it out a little more, but all of this is a beautiful foundation, a nice set of stairs that could support price. I wish it was a little bit longer and they took more time with it. That could have supported price much more if it was more at a 30 degree or a 25 degree angle. It looks to me like it's more at a 45, which is not good, but, I'll take it. So there's the markets for today. And I am probably going to look for something to sell later on today. So I will take questions, and that's it for the morning market update.